Hello everybody. This is my second video on this channel. My first video is my intro video. This video is my first actual stories. These are 3 scary stories. They're not true, but I guess they're a little scary. But I'll get more scarier as I progress on. So, number 1. When I was a little kid, I lived in a big house, and my room was secluded from their other bedrooms. My parents and my sister slept in their bedrooms, which are across the big house, so if anything happened in my room, they wouldn't be able to hear. One night, I woke up to a bang at the window. I stood up, I sat upright in my bed, and I looked at the alarm clock. It said 1 a.m. I turned around slowly to look at what was at the window. I was dreading what I would see. And when I looked at the window, I saw it. A lady, staring through the window, right at me. She had a blank stare, no expression on her face. My heart dropped. After 2 seconds, a crazy, psycho smile began to come across the lady's face. She banged the window twice and ran off into the distance. I screamed and ran to my mom's room. My mom didn't believe me. She said it was just a nightmare. But to this day, I believe it's true. Story number 2. When I was a little kid, I was living in a fairly small house. I was sleeping one summer night, and my blanket was kind of too thick, and so I decided to go to get a thinner blanket. I couldn't find any other thin blankets in my room, so I looked in my parents' room. I asked them. They said no, go check on the other side of the house, because we keep some blankets on the other side of the house. I went to look there, but I couldn't find any thin blankets. It was all thick blankets. I don't know why. It was summer, but we still didn't have any thin blankets. And so, when I was turning around, I caught something at the window. I looked right at the window, and I saw a man who was staring with a blank expression. Then his hand began to raise, and I saw him holding a thin blanket. My heart dropped. He had my blanket. I ran to my parents' room and told them what had happened. They freaked out and ran to the room, but there was no man at the window. And they also didn't find any thin blanket in the room. They called the police. The police arrived and looked around, but they couldn't find anything. The next night, I was sleeping again. This time we got a new thin blanket, which I was using. I suddenly woke up to a thud at my window. My parents heard it too, and they asked what happened. I said, I don't know, I didn't do anything. They said, well, we heard a thud. And I said, I don't know, probably a rain, because it was raining outside. So we went back to sleep. After about half an hour, there was another thud. I woke up. My mom woke up, and 3 more thuds came at the window. My mom ran to my room to see what was happening. We both looked out the window, and I saw that same man at the window, and same thing happened. His arm raised, holding the thin blanket, and he ran off. I screamed, my mom screamed, and my dad came running to her room to see what happened. The dad called the police. The police came to investigate. They investigated the woods around, and they found a man hiding behind a tree, holding a blanket. He got arrested. We don't know who this man was. He was probably homeless, or he was probably a criminal, but at least he's off in jail. Story number 3. This story, I do not really believe this story, because it involves ghosts and the paranormal, and I do not really believe in ghosts or paranormal stuff. But it's a pretty scary story, which I decided to share to you guys, because some of you might believe in the paranormal. So, this story happened to one of my relatives. He was sleeping in a guest house, one of his friend's house. In the middle of the night, he looked out the window and he saw a boy standing at the window looking at him. He didn't know what this was, so he didn't get scared, and he went back to sleep thinking, whatever, some homeless boy maybe, or something. And then, the next morning, he went and told the hosts in the house about this, that there was a boy at the window. The host told them that recently a 15-year-old boy in their house had committed suicide, and the boy at the window matched the same descriptions as the boy. My relative didn't really believe the story because he doesn't believe in the paranormal too. But it's a pretty scary story, which I decided to share with you guys. Thank you if you're watching this, and bye.